and welcome to Live, Eat, and Be Well. Today, we're gonna make my very famous chocolate chip berry muffins. Now that sounds like a lot that's going on, but they're vegan, they're gluten-free, and they're chocolatey. So if you're one of those people who's like, I'm gluten-free and I'm vegan and I've had to give up everything in my life, this is a perfect recipe for you. It's oil-free, it's egg-free, it's dairy-free, it's gluten-free, it's just free. This is like a free chocolate desserty breakfast food. So I am gonna mix these up for you. I'm gonna make this. Now I make a giant batch, so feel free to cut this in half or double it. Do whatever you have to do for your family. So I live in a pretty small town and it is difficult to find gluten-free flours here. So I have this Pillsbury Best gluten-free. Okay, and then I also have this, I don't actually know how to pronounce this brand. So whatever that brand is, gluten-free flour. So these are the two brands of flours that I use, but I don't have enough of this Pillsbury, and I don't like to mix gluten-free flour brands. Like, I don't like to use two different brands. I just don't suggest it. So I'm gonna save that Pillsbury brand for something else when I don't need as much flour, and I'm just gonna use this Christie's or whatever it is. So the first thing that you're gonna start with is 3.5 cups of gluten-free flour. So, and one big bowl for you. So that was 3.5 cups of gluten-free flour. And all my giant bowls are taken up. I have my wheatgrass seeds in there. One bowl's dirty. I'm just a mess. So I'm using this sort of medium-sized bowl, but I would suggest using a bigger bowl if you have it. But I'm an expert stirrer, so I got this on lock. Okay, the next thing you're gonna put in is 1/2 cup of unsweetened cocoa. And this is just like the Kroger brand of cocoa powder. It's unsweetened though. So that's not a lot of cocoa. So what that's gonna do is, it's not gonna overpower these muffins because we don't put a lot of sweetener into this. Okay, now, here's where the sweetener comes in. You're gonna put in some brown sugar. Now, I never use brown sugar in anything. So when I went to the grocery store today, I actually had to buy some because we're new in town and I just hadn't bought any yet because it's not an item that I usually use. So you're gonna wanna use to taste. So what I would suggest is, for this recipe, no less than 1/2 cup. So if you're cutting back on sugar and you're like, I absolutely don't want a lot, at least 1/2 cup. So that was 1/2 cup unpacked. So I'm gonna put in an entire cup of unpacked, which probably packed would just be 1/2 cup. But that's gonna give you your sweetness. The other place that you're gonna get sweetness from is applesauce. So I buy this unsweetened applesauce. Ooh, reminder, that's our oven, preheat to 350. Okay, so you're gonna use 1 cup of unsweetened applesauce. Now, you know how I'm super big on one-pot meals. And I don't like to do anything where I have to get too fancy. So, oh, I forgot baking powder. Now, baking powder is what's gonna make this rise. Again, just moved, look, I didn't even have baking powder. So you're gonna wanna put in 2 tablespoons of baking powder. Now that can give it like a lot of baking powder flavor. So, try it and see what you get, but especially with gluten-free, you may have to mess with that a little bit and try the taste. If you get a lot of baking powder taste, then you're gonna wanna really dial that back. Okay, next we're gonna put in our chocolate chips. This is why it's chocolate chip. So I don't stir until I have all the ingredients in there. Now, if you're a traditionalist, this is the point where you would stir. Or actually, you would probably mix all the dry and then mix the wet into the dry. I don't know. Anyway, you know me. I'm not about that life. So I normally don't measure chocolate chips, but we're gonna put some other stuff in here too. And I don't want it to be too overpowered with goodies and not cook up right. So we're gonna put in 1 cup of chocolate chips. Okay, so let me feel the bag so I can tell you how much that is. Okay, that's about a little less than half the bag. And I buy these Ghirardelli semi-sweet chocolates. They're my faves. Okay. And then I'm gonna put in some dried cherry berry bonanza from Nature Box. So what this is, it's a mix of dried cranberries, dried cherries, dried blueberries. It's good. It's got a little bit of oil in it, but this is what I have in my cabinet. I didn't want to go spend some extra money. So whatever dried fruit you have, half to 1 cup of these as well. And that's gonna be it. Pretty simple, simple. Then we're just gonna stir all of that up. Oh, no we're not. Ignore me. Let me rinse off this cup. You know, I have the ingredients right in front of me and it's like I can't even pay attention. I'm telling you, I had a busy day today. Today was kind of crazy. This is what happens. This is why no fuss baking is the best baking. 1 cup of non-dairy milk. The best milk to use in this, I'm not using it today because this is what I have, is cashew milk. Yum. But I have unsweetened almond milk. But if you really want to change your life, try cashew milk. Okay. I thought it was looking dry. So you're gonna mix this all together. Okay, gluten-free cooking tip. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I'm stirring this up. It's way too dry. Super tasty, but entirely too dry. So that tells me that I need to add about a 1/4 cup more of liquid. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of liquid to it until it's like the right muffiny consistency. And I'll show you what that looks like so you know what to look for. Okay, so this is what it's gonna look like when you're done mixing it together. Now remember how I told you you get to decide on your sweetener level? That's true with everything. You get to decide on your liquid amount, your sweetener amount, and everything. And the great thing about vegan baking is you can taste it right now. There's like nothing to stop you. So that tastes about right. I don't want it to be too sweet because it's a breakfast food. So what I've done is I have pre-lined some muffin sheets. I'm gonna fill them about 3/4 of the way full. Then I'm gonna put them in my preheated 350-degree oven. I know you heard it go off. We're gonna cook it about 15 to 20 minutes until it's kind of like firm on top. And they sometimes like crack across the top, and that's okay. It's a muffin, it's fine. It's not a cupcake. And then you know it's ready. And I'll come back and show you what that looks like when we've got it filled. Okay, I filled these first 6 just so you could see. This is about what it looks like when it's in there. They're gonna spread out and rise, and I'll show you what it looks like when they come out of the oven. Okay, so my muffins ended up cooking for 18 minutes. Now keep in mind that I'm at a super high altitude. So when I was at sea level, they cooked for about 15 minutes. So adjust accordingly. Now these turned out a little drier than usual, but I think that's because I used a different kind of gluten-free flour than I'm used to using. So I would have wished I would have added a little bit more liquid, but normally they don't look a lot different than this, to be honest, so I don't even know what I'm complaining about. But this is what they look like. They're like kind of creamy in the center and crunchy on the outside.
No.
They taste like chocolate deliciousness. So these are not super sweet. So if you're looking at these like they're gonna be like a chocolate cupcake, they're not. They're like chocolatey for sure, but they're like a breakfast muffin and they're super delicious. So I hope you give them a try. If you have any questions, let me know down below. And until next time, live, eat, and be well.